Hi everyone. So this is part of a video series of how do we integrate Airflow, DBT, and Snowflake. And today we're gonna see how to integrate DBT and Snowflake. So earlier videos, if you haven't looked, please check where I would sign up for Snowflake to create a trial account. And now this video we're gonna see how to create this DBT and Snowflake setup. And this is how to data, and I'm Sarunan. So let's start from here. So I'm just gonna use a VS Code for this initial setup here. So go to a directory where you want to create this particular project. So I'm gonna create a new folder under which I'm gonna name it as student DBT Snowflake. So this is going to be my project folder. So I'm gonna use the same in VS Code as well. So open a folder. So I created a new folder which is okay, DBT Snowflake. Select that folder, and yes, I'm inside that particular folder. Okay, let's yes. Now I'll go to a terminal, new terminal, and the prerequisites for this one is like you should already have a Python installed on your machine and Python home auth and all that need to be set before it. Okay, so that is the only prerequisite from the side. Okay, so now let's start. So once you have this Python everything is set up, so the first thing is you need to install DBT core and DBT Snowflake, all those things. Now we're already in this folder, so I'm gonna okay. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna create a virtual environment. It's gonna name it as DBT Snow, and I'm just gonna install that environment. Okay. Okay, let it get installed. Once that environment is created, so we're gonna use that environment going forward. So now that environment is created, so how to activate that particular environment? It's very much fun. Like you can just give now, and we'll have the scripts, and just we need to activate it. Yes, now that environment is activated, so we're just gonna see what is available items which is already available in this one. So we'll have pip and we'll have PySpark by default. So that's it. Now we're gonna install pip, install dbt core, and we will stick to a specific version in this case because we are going to integrate with Airflow as well. So Airflow, DBT, and stuff like we should have a compatibility, right? So I'm just gonna stick with that specific version. Okay, pip install DBT core. For the core, I'm going with the version 1.8.8. So any version that you can use, that is no limitation to that. But since we are integrating multiple systems, right? So we need to see whether all the dependencies are matched. Then only we should be. It will be an easy installation and setup. Most of the people will miss this part when we're doing a real-time project in a production environment or an employee environment. So when we integrating different source projects, like say DBT is a different one and Snowflake is another project. Snowflake doesn't have a dependency with PySpark or whatever the version used, but the DBT and Airflow they have a dependency with the Python version that what we're using. Example, Snowflake requires DBT core requires many inbuilt packages. If you see here, like example, we have this Python or ProTorch or whatever it is. There are many versions. So similarly, Airflow also requires certain version. So we should not see any compatibility or dependency. I mean, like you understand the part, right? So we shouldn't see that issue. So that's why we are going with this specific version. And so once it is installed, then we'll go ahead with installing the other one. Okay, now the DBT Snow. we have DBT core is installed. So let's see. So core, when I say it doesn't install just core, we'll have install DBT command and all those things as well. So if you see one of this thing, what I said about the dependency is this one. So protobuf, so this one will have the dependency conflict when we install other versions of Airflow. So we'll have DBT adapter, DBT command, DBT core, all things installed. So DBT Snowflake is what we need to install next. So pip install DBT Snowflake. So again, I'm gonna have a specific version. So this is gonna be 1.8.4. So these are all stable versions. So DBT and Snowflake is like an adapter provided by the DBT and Snowflake community. So this is all good. So let it run. So once it is fine, then we will initiate this DBT projects. Okay. Okay. Let's give it a time. So we're gonna init this. We're gonna initialize this DBT project. So DBT init, and it's gonna ask you for a name and what type of connector that we want to give. So I'm gonna give Stone DBT Snowflake. So that is the name of the project that I want to give. So you want to overwrite it? Yes, please overwrite it. Enter the number. So what is the command? What is the connector that we want to use? So I see we see only a Snowflake is a connector. So plus one and hit enter. Okay, it's taking its time. Now we need to give that account number. So the Snowflake is what we are having it in place. So I'm just gonna insert my account value. So whatever the account value is, something like snowflakecomputing.com, whatever before that. So that is your account name, and what is the username. So I have my username with me. So I'm gonna go with the password, and password you don't have to give it right now, because if you give it, so that is fine. So let's just say I gave my password, hit enter, and what is the rule that you're to show, that is account admin. So if you go to your Snowflake profile, if you see account admins or any role that you want, but right now I think we can stick with this account admin. And what is a barrows? So compute underscore WH. So let's say compute underscore WH. Okay, and then hit. And what is the default database? So for this one, so I'm gonna create a database. Okay. Okay, so this is the database, and we have January is the schema. So what is the database is what is the database we can use is year 2025. And what is the schema? Schema is January. Jan is the schema, and that is fine. So okay, now we got the profile is already set there. Now the project is also done. So now give ls. Now we can just give ls and see this one dbt.snowflake that got created. If you see today, it got created. Okay, so let's move inside this. So one dbt snowflake, and yes, if you see, this is all here. Okay, now we can just need to open a folder. Okay, let's see. Rubric, select this folder. Yes, we're all good. Now we have this model, the first DBT model, the second DBT model. So if you see, these are the basic ones. So now we just need to see, go to the terminal, new terminal. Mhm. Okay. So we need to activate the environment first, right? Whatever the environment that we created. So that is DBT Snow script, and we need to activate it. So it got activated. Now Stone DBT, now DBT Snowflake. Okay. So if your connection is all good, so we can directly give DBT debug. Okay, so DBT debug is a command where we can just need to set up an initial scene so that we can see whether the checks are passed. If you had any issues, right? So it could show up you on this particular place. Actually, yeah, it's completed. So now DBT debug is fine. So I'm just gonna give DBT run. So it's gonna run this first model and the second model together. So we can just go here to the Snowflake and tables. Okay, so I already have this first model and second model. So I know it's fine. So let it run and we can see how that actually runs. So if you see there are two models that has already got completed and the setup is done right now. So now DBT is integrated with Snowflake. And if I want to run only the specific models, I can give DBT hyphen DBT run hyphen M, and the model is like my first DBT underscore model. Yeah, they should do before doing it. Let me go here and I will okay, tables. Yeah, my first dbt dot tables, right? So here place the name in this editor. Okay, just I'm gonna drop this table, okay, in Snowflake, so that you know that table got dropped. Okay, now I'm just gonna refresh this so you don't see it here, and here I'm just gonna run only the one model that for this particular purpose so that we could set up this one. So see, it's running fine so far. It started the model and it's completed successfully. So we go here, we refresh this page. Yes, the first model is already there. So let's see if the data is available. Okay, and it's gonna check it, and yes, so we got the data, so that is fine. So this is how we would do an initial setup of DBT with Snowflake, and the next video probably would be integrating Airflow with DBT and Snowflake, so we know that how to do that end-to-end pipeline. Snowflake is it's a warehouse, cloud warehouse, and DBT core. Since I'm using DBT core, right? So we don't have a scheduling option within DBT core, but DBT cloud has the scheduling option within itself. So we don't need to go for an external scheduler like Airflow. But since I'm using DBT core, so we need to do a scheduling thing as well. So watch out for my next video, and where you will see Airflow and how to schedule it, and more videos are likely to come. And thanks for watching it. And